Let's talk about the books that I plan on reading from December 28th all the way to January 4th. Hi everyone, it's me, Shelby from Shelby's Crafty Books and Games. Here you can get all kinds of bookish videos with either a crafting or gaming twist. And in today's video, I will be doing my weekly reading update. I do these every Monday to talk about the books that I read the previous week and the books I hope to either start or complete in the upcoming week. And in today's video, I will be talking about the books that I finished or started in December 22nd to the 27th. And then I will talk about the books I hope to read in December 28th to the January 4th. So let's get started. So for the week of December 22nd to December 27th, I started 2 books, finished 1. I started a Kindle book, and I started and finished an audiobook. The Kindle book I started was The Winter Prince by Constance Lopez. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It follows Prince Ruby of the Winter Court, Elfin Winter Court, as he tries to break the curse that has turned him into a beast. I really like this book so far. I'm about halfway through it. And I really like it that we get a lot of the male character's point of view. You usually don't see that, at least the books I read. Usually it's mostly from the female character's point of view. And I also like some of the magic that's in this book. The main character, Ravi, he can dream walk, and he's using that to go into the dreams of the main character, Kian, the other main character, Kiana, and they kind of talk and converse in her dreams, and that's actually in some of the really old versions of Beauty and the Beast, and that usually left out that the Beauty character can see a person in her dreams who turns out to be the human form of the Beast. So that is really interesting to me. I'm really liking it so far. This might be either a 3.5 or 4-star read for me. We will see. Then for the audiobook I both started and finished was The End of Oz by Danielle Page. This is the final book in the Dorothy Must series, and it follows Amy as she is taken to the kingdom of Ev, ruled by the Gnome King, who is about to marry Dorothy. And you get both Amy's point of view and Dorothy's point of view. It goes back and forth. And I felt like this wasn't that great of an ending to the story. There was a big setup for a climactic battle that was kind of not very climactic in my opinion. And then the author wanted to try to have this ending, a sad ending for Amy, but then kept changing it to the point where it really felt like it wasn't that bad for her, because she could still go back to Oz. So yeah, but I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars. I feel like this wasn't a great ending to the series. It started off amazing, and just with each book, it just kept going further and further down. So this coming week, I hope to finish the Kindle book, The Winter Prince, hopefully, and then I hope to start an audiobook, a physical book, and there's also another physical book I am planning to annotate for a future video. So let's get into that. The audiobook I'm hoping to start this week is The Search for Wondla by Tony Dadaluzzi. This is one of my favorite books, and I like to reread it every once in a while. It follows a girl named Ava 9 as she goes to search for other humans on this alien-ish planet. And it's just really good, comfort-ish kind of read for me, and I've never really done the audiobook, so I wanted to try to do the audiobook after listening to a bunch of Wizard of Oz. I wanted to kind of just go into a reread for and that's the one I picked. So we'll see how far I get into it. It's about a 500-page book, so I don't plan to finish the audiobook this week, but I hope to get a good chunk of it done. Then for the physical book this week, I'm actually wanting to do something a little different. I have a lot of books on my shelves, and I want to try to, read them all, but I'm not quite sure where to start. So I decided to use a spinner to randomly select a book for me. And first I'm going to do from each shelf I own, and then that will narrow it down to the books on that shelf, and then we will see what book the spinner picks. So let us do the shelf first. Okay, so it picked shelf B to C. Now I'm going to spin the book shelf B to C spinner, and we're going to see what I get on that. Okay, so I got The Looking Glass Wars. Let's see what that one's about. Okay, so here's the book, The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Bodden. And this follows a girl named Princess Alice, who is taken from her world after her aunt tries to take over the kingdom. And she is taken to our world, where she meets a man and she tells him everything that happened to her in her world. And the man turns it into the book Alice in Wonderland. But it's actually way different than what the world is supposed to be. And after a while, Alice goes back to try to regain her kingdom. So this sounds really cool to me. I really do like the original story of Alice in Wonderland, so I am looking forward to reading this one. Okay, so the last book on this video is one I'm hoping to annotate for a future video series I'm going to be doing on this channel that I hope to debut the first episode at the end of January. And that will be Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I'm planning to annotate this book for the video series that I'm going to be doing, because I'll need to go through this to like kind of know like the story and the characters and stuff that I'm planning to put into this video, and kind of like, you know, it's kind of like research. And this one follows a girl named Selena, and she is a amazing assassin, and she is taken to a tournament. To whoever wins the tournament becomes the king's champion. Of course, as this tournament is being held, something is going on with the competitors. So Selena's got to figure it out before they come after her. But I remember reading this last year and really loving it, especially after being unsure about reading Sarah J. Maas books. So I hope to read this and then maybe hopefully continue the series, because I never got past the 3rd book. So I hope to also change that in the coming year of 2026. But I know I won't be getting done with this in a week, because annotating takes way longer than reading it regular. So yeah, so these are the books I'm hoping to read this week. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these, and if so, what your thoughts were on them. If not, which ones sound interesting to you. And I'll see you next time. Bye!